Hi, welcome to our Let's Learn Futures webinar series. This series is brought to you by Bursa Malaysia and managed by our company, Excellent. My name is Ting Ting. I'm your moderator for this session. Our topic for today is essential skills you need to become a successful trader. I believe this is a very interesting topic, and this topic is hardly being discussed by many of the speakers. So we are going to bring to you this important topic. Now, before we start, just a quick check whether you can hear us or not, whether you can see our slides or not. If you can hear us, you can see our slides, just type in the chat box. If you can't hear us, maybe you will log out or you just follow these 2 steps. Nothing much, then we can help you. But we can see that many of you answer yes. Very good. Thanks a lot. Thanks for your response. Now, please off your video. As you all know that Malaysia internet is very weak. For your personal quality, make sure that you off the video so that you can have a very quality webinar throughout this evening. Along the way, today we are going to divide the session into first 60 minutes for the presentation by our trainer, and the last 30 minutes will be a Q&A session. Along the session, if you have any question, you can click on the bottom below. At the bottom there, can you see that there's a Q&A button? So what you need to do is you can submit your question, Q&A, any languages that you want. Hopefully we are able to read, but the best is to submit in English because this session we are going to conduct in English. So once you click on the Q&A, please click send to all co-hosts. If you send to only presenter or you only send to the host, we are not able to see that. So please make sure that you send to all co-hosts. Along the way, you can start to ask the question. We try to answer at the end of the session. We hope that we can cover all the questions. Now, as you all understand, this is the Let's Learn Futures webinar series, what we call as LLF. So this series, every Tuesday, we are going to bring you different topics in different languages. So upcoming, you can see that next week, we are going to have a Malay topic, 24th of August, scalp trading trend jangka masa pendek dengan opening price. And subsequently, it will be 31st of August, which is a public holiday in Malaysia. And we are going to continue on 7th of September, which is a Chinese topic. And subsequently, we are going to continue on 14th of September. You can see every Tuesday, we are going to have this topic, and you can join as you like. So what you need to do is you just need to scan this QR code, and you can register accordingly. At the end of the session, we are going to give you the link, else you can just scan this QR code. As you all know, besides the webinar series, Bursa Malaysia also arranged online workshop. This online workshop is not suitable for everyone. I repeat, this online workshop is not suitable for everyone. This is only for serious learner, meaning if you are going to kickstart your futures trading, you can join this online workshop. And just for information, many of you are asking us about end of August, which we're supposed to have an online workshop, and middle of September, we have another session as well. But both the session already fully set out. So if you decided to attend the workshop, make sure that you are serious in attending, then only you register. Please don't take out other people's place, as many of the participants asking us to drop them in the waiting list, but that's not something that we can do. So please make sure that if you are seriously wanted to venture into futures trading, then only you register this online workshop. We have different sessions. These are all additional sessions provided by Bursa Malaysia. We have upcoming Malay, and we have Mandarin in October and English in November. So you can scan the QR code and register accordingly. Every session is only limited to first 50 online attendees, which will open for 150 packs to register, but only first 50 online attendees can attend. So we are going to guide you through from A to Z. So if you don't know how to start with your futures trading, no worries. Besides the webinars, which is more towards intermediate level or advanced level, we are going to cover for beginners, which is online workshop. So before we start, I would like to introduce our speaker for today. He's CY Saw Chuan Yuen, well known as CY. He's the lead trainer for Excellent. He's also the Chartered Market Technician Chartered Holder, which in Malaysia, we have less than 10 CMT. So he's also the certified HRDF trainer and also NLP trainer. His forte is in performance coach, and he specializes in trading system and strategies, trading psychology, anything related to your mindset, etc., and also NLP with coaching. So without further ado, I'm not quite sure whether you are ready or not. Are you ready for today's topic or not? So if you're ready, just type in the chat box. Then we are going to pass it over to CY. Yes, you are ready. I pass it over to you, CY.
Okay, Ting Ting. All right, thanks, Ting Ting. Good evening, everyone. How are you doing? And I hope everything is well and fine on your side. So as we know that in trading and investing, we need specific skills in order to be able to profit from the market. And the questions are, do you know what skills exactly you need to achieve trading success? And whether do you have those skills already? And how good you are in those skills that you already have. And if you do not have those skills, then it would be better for you to learn first and strengthen all of those skills before you put in your money into trading, right? So which is why today I'm going to share with you in today's topic, the essential skills you need to become a successful trader. So regardless of whether you are currently trading futures, stocks, or any other financial instruments, you'll definitely learn something that you can immediately apply in your trading today. And by the end of this session, you will understand why many people, even after they have attended, courses over courses, they have read a lot of books regarding to investing and trading, or maybe they have watched a lot of videos related to trading, and still not being able to perform well. So does that seem and sounds familiar to you already? So in this session, you will discover what are the missing pieces in your trading that you need to fill in so that your whole trading process can function well and achieve the goals you want to achieve in trading. So let's get started. Now, a quick standard disclaimer where this presentation is provided for educational purpose only. I give you a quick 3 seconds to look through. 1, 2, 3. Now, I believe Ting Ting has already introduced me. My name is Chun Yan. You can just call me CY. And today, this topic will be organized into 4 main sessions. So the first one would be topic number 1, redefine trading success. Now, I believe many of you may have a misconception about success in trading, or sometimes in reality, the journey to become successful in trading becomes, it seems so far and unreachable. So in this topic, I am going to clear some of the misconceptions, and I'm also going to give you some guidance on how you can develop yourself towards your goals in trading. Topic number 2, the 5 stages most traders experience. Now, if you understand these 5 stages, you can take the necessary actions to solve your trading problems. Topic number 3, the key skills and competencies you need in trading. So I'm going to deconstruct and break it down. What are the key skills and competencies that great traders have? And lastly, topic number 4, how to improve yourself as a trader. So today's topic is actually far more important than just understanding technical analysis or even fundamental analysis. So if you have attended whatever TA or FA trading courses and your trading performance is still negative or still limited, then this session is really, really important for you. So pay attention to this. And I'm going to share with you some of the missing pieces you need to become a successful trader. Now, topic number 1, let's redefine the trading success. So everyone has their own definition of success, right? And different people have different pictures of what trading success means. So in this topic, we are going to refine in detail what trading success would actually mean. So the first question and the most frequently asked question by traders is that, are traders born or made? So whether you are just beginning in trading or have been trading for quite some while, I'm sure somewhere along the line you may be asking this question. Now, let me know, do you think that traders are born or traders are made? Type in your answer in the chat box below. If you think traders are born, you type in born. And if you think traders are made, you type in made. So, and later on, I'm going to share with you the a more scientific answer that has been generated by researchers from other domains. So I see a majority of you put in made, some put 70% made, some 30% born, some of you put both. All right, now let me disclose a answer that is found by researchers in the next slide. So let me share with you an analogy here. So I believe most of you say it's made, right? Of course, if it is made, right, then you need to really listen to this. Now, in the domain of training development, especially leadership development area, right? This is one of the most frequently asked questions. Are leaders born or made? So in fact, those giants corporations, those multinational corporations, they have been spending billions of dollars in grooming and developing leaders. And it is estimated that the annual spending on a leadership development program and training is actually more than 150 billion US dollar. And this is actually speaking about USA alone. So research by psychologists, they have proven that leaders are mostly made. And the estimated by their research is that leadership is about 1/3 of them are born and 2/3 are made. So back to this question is that this same thing applies to trading as well. So are traders born or are traders made? And I believe most of you has guessed the answer correctly already. So yes, leaders are made, leaders are born as well, but generally it would be said that 1/3 are born and 2/3 are made. So now, becoming a trader or doing trading actually requires a very, very complex set of skills, right? And most of these skills are acquired through experience. It can be acquired through self-development as well as training. And why is this important? Think about it. Because if a successful trader is born, right, then many people who are really not suitable for trading, right? So there is no need for training and development at all. There is no need for education and coaching for traders already. Make sense? So that's the reason why we can conclude that many of the skills and competencies in any areas, right, including leadership development and trading or investing, can be trained as well as can be developed. All you need to do is that you need to put in some effort to learn the necessary skills as well as develop it. Now, let's look at this picture. Can you guess what is this piece of rock or not? Can any one of you give a guess what is this rock means? It is actually a black rock that is coated by some of the yellow elements. So some of you say arum, some of you put gold. That's right. This is gold before it has been become pure gold, and this is actually the what we call the gold ore. So before a gold ore transform into a pure gold form, it has to go through a process which is called smelting and refining. So smelting gold is actually it can be done by using a very, very high temperature and heat, and using various chemicals to break down the ore and melt the gold to separate it from other impurities. So the gold must be heated at over 100 degrees Celsius until ultimately you mold it, and then that's where you get a pure gold. Now, the next question for you is gold considered a precious high value item already? Think about it for a second. Is pure gold considered a preciously high value item already? Now, in fact, gold itself, the value itself can be even higher through designing, through crafting and development, and it becomes, finally jewelries, right? And these jewelries, the value is actually way, way higher than pure gold itself. So, which is why you can see, the gold jewelry that you buy, right? The gold content is actually very little only, but you pay very high price for it. So now, what I want to highlight through this example is that, in short, it doesn't really matter if you are born to be a gold. You still need to go through extreme temperature in smelting and refining, and through designing and crafting, the value can become even higher. So this thing applies to trading as well. It doesn't really matter if you are naturally born to be a trader. And even if you are born to be very talented in trading, you still need to develop skills and competencies to actualize your potential in becoming a profitable trader. So you need to go through intense heat, pressure, and through time and experience, you can keep improving, polishing, and refining your skills to become really good in trading. Okay, got it? Now think about this for a moment. Does trading success requires technical analysis, fundamental analysis, or any other complicated analysis? Think about this for a moment. Does trading, to become successful in trading, does that really need complicated analysis, fundamental analysis, or any other analysis or not? Maybe you may say that you need an excellent trading psychology. You need good discipline in order to be successful, right? And in fact, it takes more than just psychology and good discipline. And today, in this session, I'm going to share with you a bigger picture of what it takes to become a fully developed trader. Now, when it comes to defining success, many people have different answers, right? And there is no right or answer to it. Now, let me share with you what are the possible general answers you may have about trading success. Now, again, I'm going to repeat my question here, and I'm going to share with you a few options of what are considered to be as a trading success. So please pay attention to this, because we have many selections here. Now, some people may think that making multiple winning trades considered as a trading success. Some may say making 6 to 7 figures of money considered as success. Some would say making extra source of income, no need to get stuck in 9 to 5 job routine, early retirement, or any other reasons. So type in the chat box, let me know which of these options do you consider as a trading success, and which of these need to happen that you can declare yourself you are a successful trader. So if the answer is only A, you type in A. So if it is B, C, D, or combination of it, you can type in what are the combination of those options. So some of you will put A, B, majority would be A and B, and some C, D, and E, some C, some all of it. And of course, some of you might be, having some other reasons. It could be, having more time, or you trade for fun only, all right? So in fact, all of these outcomes, right, are actually just destinations. All of these majority is actually monetary outcomes. So think about it for a moment. What happens if you did not achieve all of those things? Think about for a moment. What happens if you did not achieve all of these things? Would you consider yourself as failure already? Because it takes time to achieve all of these things, right? Some people takes 5 years, some takes 10 years, some takes 20 years, and go through so long period of time, right? So, and it can be year 20 only you are able to achieve that. So what would happen if you did not achieve those things? Would you consider yourself as failure or not? Now, just like it's nice and good to have a big dream and having all of these goals, right? And because it is really inspiring and motivating. However, going through the process is a little bit complicated. And just like New Year's resolution, many people knows how to set New Year goals, right? Setting new goals, and majority of the people don't achieve that at the end of the year. So many people wants to achieve big goals, but they don't want to put in the effort, time, the sweat to develop necessary skills and competencies. So this same thing applies to trading and investing as well. You need to put in the time, effort, sweat, even your blood, to develop necessary knowledge, skills, competencies to ultimately reach these goals. And there are times you really need to make necessary mistakes and losses in order to learn, to grow, and develop yourself to become a successful trader. So all of these outcomes in this slide are actually monetary outcomes. It is actually not a good measurement for trading success. I repeat, all of this A to E is actually monetary outcome. It is not a good measurement for trading success. Let me explain to you why in the next slide. Now, when it comes to trading goal setting, right, there are generally two roads. So the first road is where road number one is the road where most everybody is actually doing, where you start somewhere in trading and then you set goals. Most of it are actually monetary goals, which I've just highlighted to you in the previous slide. And you trade your way to achieve those goals. And road number one, majority of the people don't reach their goals. Some of it, not even halfway through. Why? Because the high dropout rate, many people drop out along the way due to making losses, and some of them may even make money, but they also drop out as well because trading is not what they expect it would be. Now, let me suggest to you road number two, and this is the improved version of number one. So same thing, you start from somewhere, same starting point, you set the same goals which you want to achieve, how much money you want to make, and there is one thing that you need to add, which is checkpoints along the way, right? You need to add checkpoints along the way, and these checkpoints are like small little goals, small achievements that you need to accomplish before you are able to reach your ultimate goal. And all of these checkpoints have nothing to do with monetary value. Okay, all of these checkpoints have nothing to do with monetary value. All of these checkpoints are actually the references towards your skills and competencies in trading, so that you know whether you're getting closer towards your goal or further away. Now, let me give you an example. Let's say you want to get from point A to point B. So point A is, let's say, KL, and point B is Penang. And you want to get from KL to Penang. So you plan out your journey, right? The shortest journey you can go is actually travel through a very, very straight line. And of course, you have several methods of traveling. You can travel by land, by air, and even by sea. So let's say you travel by land. The fastest route is actually using North-South Highway. The distance about 360 kilometers. So if you drive within speed limit, you can travel it takes about 4 hours to reach. And some of you may say, 4 hours of driving is really crazy. Can't tahan already. It's boring, it's tiring. So how to make your driving a little bit more less painful? You add checkpoints so that you know which of the area that you can just stop by to drink your coffee or even to have a toilet break. Now, next method, you can travel by air. Even if you travel by air, right, your air pilot would also need to constantly communicate and report to the air traffic control tower where the plane is and what is the checkpoint they are actually heading, and what is the expected reaching time. So this, of course, this is for airplane road, right? It's actually a general guidance for you only. And lastly, you can travel to Penang from KL by sea as well, right? So what I want to highlight to you is that knowing where you want to go is actually not enough. You need to have checkpoints along the way to guide and track your progress, whether to see whether you're actually improving or not, so that you know whether you are getting closer towards your goals or further away. And this is less painful, less boring along the way, because you can actually track your progress. You know that you're actually making improvement. Make sense? Now, as you have already know what track road number two is actually a better model, a better framework for you to achieve your goals. All you need to do is actually add checkpoints to reach your destination. And the next topic, I'm going to share with you what are those checkpoints so that you can put along your journey in trading. And trading success is actually not about the ultimate outcome, right? Because ultimate outcome, it takes time to actually reach there. It can be 10 years, 20 years, or even who knows how long it would take. And of course, if you were to put all your achievements, small little achievement along the way, it would be enjoyable, it would be fun, and you will like trading rather than spending too much time on trading and seems like no result. Okay, so let's go into the next topic of the 5 stages most traders experience. When you understand these 5 stages, you know exactly what you need to improve on, what are the areas that you can develop so that you can move on to the next stage. Now, the same thing, we are using the road number 2. You have your starting stage, you know your goals, you have checkpoints. Now, along the way, we have checkpoints, right? To make it easier for you to understand, I'm going to change all of these checkpoints with stage 1. Checkpoint number 2 is your stage 2, stage 3, stage 4, as well as stage 5. So now let's replace those checkpoints with different stages. So now let's say on the first level, when you begin your trading, you start trading small and as small as 1 contract lot. So stage number 1, of course, you may have learned some technical analysis or fundamental analysis. So this is where you begin your trading. So stage number 1 is where you will be making losses. It's the definite rule. It's like swimming, right? The first time you learn swimming is actually you have to drink water out from it. So stage number 1, you make some losses. Because you do not know how to cut your losses short. You do not know how to enter the market at the right time. So this is where you may let your losses getting bigger and bigger until you learn the important lesson of how to cut losses short and quickly. Then you are able to progress to stage number 2. Stage number 2 is where your losses is getting lesser already. Why? Because you already understand the importance of cutting losses, how to get out of your losing positions quickly. You have already learned how to improve your entry point as well as your exit point. You're making progress because you no longer let your losses running out of control and you enter the market at a way better timing. You keep improving your trading skills and knowledge. So this is where you progress to stage number 3. Now, for most of the people in stage number 1 and stage number 2, some people can get stuck in the first 2 stage for a very, very long time. Some people get stuck stage 1, stage 2 for 10, 20 years. And especially they are in the market for quite some time already, and they still do not know how come there is no improvement in their trading. Now, you may be wondering that, why, what do I mean by making losses? Does making losses means continuous losses when you make your first 5 trades? So let's say you make your first 5 trades, you experience 5 continuous losses. Does that consider as stage 1 or stage 2 or not? The answer is actually no. Why? Because if you do not have a well defined trading plan, and if you do not have a good trading strategy, then you don't have a benchmark to measure, right? So this is where you do not even have a trading plan to follow. And if you do have a trading plan, having continuous losses in trading is actually part and parcel in trading only, because losses are part of the part of and nature of trading. So give yourself 1 or 2 years time in trading, uh, have discipline and follow your trading plan strictly, and then you will know whether you are still stuck in stage 1 and stage 2. Now, stage 3, of course, when you have reduced your losses, this is where you break even already. So along the way, you may be making money here and there, but at the end of the year, you may have some losses, minor losses, or breaking even. So this is the stage where most people begin to give up already, because initially stage 1, stage 2, they have lost money, right? So when it comes to stage 3, they do not know whether they have progressed or not. Some people, they just give up because it has to put in so much effort just only to get breaking even. So here, you need to be able to see that you have already improved so much compared to when you begin in stage 1, right? Compared, now you're in stage 3. Compared to where you are starting from stage 1, you have already making a lot of progress. And with experience, if you be able to continue to fine-tune your skills and knowledge in trading, and this is where you are able to manage to go on and proceed to stage 4. So can you guess what is stage 4 or not? Can any one of you guess what is stage 4? And this stage 4 is, of course, every one of you would like to see. Can you guess what is stage 4 after stage 3? So of course, there you are already making gains. That's correct. And of course, this gain is not a big gain. It can be small profit, because before big gain, you need to make some small profit first, right? So stage 4 is where you're making little profit. And after you refine, you continue to refine your skills, your knowledge about trading, refine your plan, how to get in the market, how to get out from the market. Well, you end up with little profit. This is pretty good, isn't it? And then that is where you keep improving yourself to reach stage 5. So stage 5 is where you are able to have consistent profits. So because you follow your trading rules, you stick to your trading plan and know exactly when to get in and get out. And this is the place where most of you are very happy, right? Now, after stage 5, do you think that this is the end of it or not? When you are stage 5? In fact, it's no. After you are at stage 5 of having consistent profits, your account size growing bigger and bigger, right? So this is where you need to scale up your trading already. So initially, you are trading one contract only. Then after that, when your account grows, you trade 2 contracts and going on below. Because going through these 5 stages at level 1 is when you are trading small. So when you are trading with a bigger account, this is where you're starting from level 2, and that's where you proceed to level 3, so forth and so on. And at different levels, it's like walking on rope, Level 1 is easy. Everybody can do it. And as you go up even higher, right, trading even more contracts or bigger trading, bigger account size, it gets a little bit tougher and tougher. You need more skills and competencies to do that. You cannot trade this when you're at level 50 or level 10, you cannot trade the same way as level 1. You need to tweak and improve further a little bit, right? So that is the reason why you need to keep polishing and refining your trading knowledge as well as your skills. Now, let's proceed with the topic 3 and topic 4. I am going to share with you these 2 things all together. Now, do you know what are the essential skills and competencies in trading? I give you 30 seconds to think about it. If you know what are the essential skills and competencies, please type in the chat box. So if you know what are the skills and competencies, type in the chat box. I give you 30 seconds to think about it. So if I didn't speak on this topic, most of you would say, TA, FA more important, right? So now most of you would say some other than TA and FA, some money management, risk management, economics, some say emotional control, some trading plan, psychology, risk management. All right, now let's look at it in a more bigger picture. Now, are you aware that skills can generally be classified into 2 general types of skills? There are hard skills as well as soft skills. Hard skills are those technical skills and knowledge, technical knowledge, while soft skills are those more tilted towards mental and cognitive process, the emotional process. You can't see it. Now, there are technical skills and there are soft skills. Now, because of time limitation, I'm not going to highlight everything, because many of the skills are covered by many of the speakers, especially on the technical skills. So in this session, I'm going to highlight and focus on the skill sets that are not being highlighted and mostly neglected. So let's talk about the technical skills first. Number 1, most of the technical skills that I'm going to say is actually you're very familiar with it already, because a lot of speakers talk about it. So I will just briefly go through this part. Number 1, fundamental analysis is where you will be analyzing company, industry, or international or even local news to derive a conclusion and then make your trading decision. Second, technical skills, technical analysis. I believe it's definitely your favorite, right? Where you will be using price actions, technical indicators, chart patterns to form your trading strategies and system, and you trade according with your trading plan. And thirdly is, of course, trade management. You may be a new term for you. Trade management is where you will be executing your trading decision and strategies, how you implement or execute your trading orders. and how much time or how to time your execution. Is it beginning of the day, end of the day, middle of the day? So for small trading account, this you won't be facing this problem. But as your account size grows bigger and bigger, then trade management is definitely a skills you must learn in order to make your trading strategies work, because the skills required to trade bigger account is very different from small accounts. So the challenges in big account is actually different from small account. So trade management, sooner or later, you will definitely need to learn. And of course, number 4, risk management and money management, including how you cut your losses, how much exposure you are going to take in a single trade. And lastly, portfolio management. I believe most of you is not going to trade one product or one asset only, right? You need to be able to diversify your money across different areas so that your whole portfolio is not affected by the market downside. So Malaysia, we have stocks as well as futures. So I believe it's actually a good diversification already if you just want to put your money in Malaysia. Now, let's go into soft skills. So in soft skills, let me explain each and every one of it in detail first, and then later on, I will briefly introduce you first. Later, I will go into detail in it. Now, before I enter into each soft skill, let's look in this first. There are decision making, critical thinking, emotional intelligence, problem solving, as well as work ethics. Before I proceed with soft skills, let us make one assumption first, okay? So that you are able to follow me closely as well when I explain those soft skills. The assumption here is very easy. Let's assume that you have already learned all of the technical skills that I have described on the left-hand side here, okay? So regardless of how you learn it, whether you have attended many courses or read a lot of books or watch how much videos there is, okay? The assumption here is you have already all of the technical skills already. You have learned everything about technical analysis, fundamental analysis already, okay? So if you haven't get all those technical skills yet, never mind. Let's pretend you have already learned all of it, okay? So that later on when I explain soft skills, you can follow me closely and understand better, okay? Now, the first soft skill on decision making. Now, of course, in our daily lives, we have a lot of decisions to make, right? And from what time to eat lunch or dinner or what to do at specific hour. So for example, now you have already decided to spend your time to attend this LLF webinar to improve your trading. So that's a decision. Another common decision that we have to make nowadays is that whether we should go for a vaccination or not. So if you go for a vaccination, there will be risk. And if you do not get vaccinated, there is risk also, correct? And of course, research and studies have shown that the benefits of getting vaccinated outweighs the risk. However, many people are still unable to decide whether they should go for vaccination or not, correct? So ultimately, in the end, do they make any decision? Of course, for us human, right, our default mode is actually do nothing. We don't make any decision. We don't say yes. We also don't say no. So we just do nothing. And another example, let's say, which is very common, let's say you receive a few job offers. Many people will face a dilemma of which job offer to take. Whether should I take a company A or not? Company A is offering good, company B also offering not bad as well. So by the end of the day, you will still need to make a decision, right? So this same thing goes for trading. Having lots of knowledge in trading is essential, but it does not guarantee trading success. So you may have learned a lot of technical analysis, use a lot of technical indicators, chart patterns, yet if you still dare not make any trading decisions, so you may not be, progressing or moving forward. So decision making is a very, very most important skills in trading. I would say it is actually the number one soft skill that you must be good at first. And I believe all of you have this decision making soft skill or this decision making muscles in you already. It is just that whether this muscle is strong or not strong, right? So of course, when it comes to decision, there are many factors to consider, right? And you may have solid technical skills, But if you are unable to make decision, to enter the market or exit the market, you just couldn't pull the trigger, right? So this is where you are unable to implement or execute your trade. Familiar? Now, how many of you currently is still facing this problem where you are unable to make a solid decision in trading? So type in I in the chat box below. How many of you still, facing problem in decision making in trading? So you need to be aware of that. Just acknowledge, I have a problem in making decision. So this is where you need to improve and strengthen this muscle, right? So when you trade, when you want to make trading decision, you may get stuck at times or unable to decide, and you can get overwhelmed by too many factors, too many news in the market. You get mental overload, and ultimately going back to your default mode is do nothing, whatever will be lah. So in trading, you still need to make decision. So let me share with you this example. Can you look at this picture? Familiar or not? So it is actually what we call the hammer game, right? In fact, the name is called whack-a-mole. So remember this game where the mole will pop up from the hole and you need to whack it with a hammer. So initially, at the beginning of the game, the speed is low, and as the game is getting faster and faster, right, the mole comes out and goes back in very, very quickly. So what happens here is that you clearly see it, you should whack it, but when the time you want to whack it, you miss it, right? So this is the same thing like trading. And when the game goes faster and faster, you need to whack faster, right? And ultimately, what you do? You simply almost whack everything. So same thing like trading. In a slow and quiet market, everybody can take their sweet time to decide. But when the market is hot, when the market is fast, people tend to get kelam kabut, get messy already, or they may make a lot of wrong moves. They just couldn't decide anymore because they are mentally overloaded and overwhelmed by too much information. So how to improve your trading or your decision making is that you need to train your decision making muscles. And this is like going to gym. You need to make more decision. And most people, they do not want to make decision is because making decision comes with the responsibility of bearing with the consequences. And most people are not good at it. So which is why they avoid making decisions. So in trading, you must make decision, okay, and be responsible with it. So same thing in trading. If you want to be good in trading, you need to develop these decision making muscles. Follow your trading strategy accordingly, stick to it. When it's time to take profit, just take it. When it is time to enter, and when it is time for you to cut your losses, don't hesitate, just cut it, don't wait anymore, okay? And even when there is nothing for you to do according to your trading plan, right, do nothing. You need to decide as well, do nothing. Now, second way of improving your decision making muscle is actually you need to stop procrastinate in your daily life. So for example, like washing dishes, cleaning out the house, pay your bills on time, doing the laundry. So most of the people would say later lah, this thing can wait lah, and ultimately they are not doing anything, right? So this is actually what we call the procrastination. It is a number one tactic to delay decision making. So all you need to do in your daily life is that reduce your procrastination, just plan it, and then just do it, implement and execute whatever that you have just planned. So this is where you need to be able to travel some other decision making skills in your daily life over to your trading. So this is where it becomes easier, right? Now skill number 2 is where critical thinking and thinking skills. Now, do you know what exactly is critical thinking? And do you know that just by thinking skills alone, it can make a lot of difference on how you analyze stock and the market? And thinking skills, especially critical thinking and reasoning skills, are not quite well embedded in Malaysia because of our education system does not really focus on critical thinking and reasoning skills. So let me give you an example. There are times when you may hear from your friend about buying or selling certain stocks, right? which profit target to expect, which price to enter is the best. And this happens a lot in trading forum, chat groups, blogs, and even in the social medias. A lot of people ask these kind of questions, right? And I believe many of you don't even question so much of whether you understand those recommendations or those companies correct thoroughly. And do you have the sufficient understanding about the industry or even the sector or not? Is the, let's say, stock price, if you're trading stocks, justified by the earnings growth or even valuation or not? Most people don't think about it, and they just follow exactly, they go by majority vote. If a lot of people say, or a lot of speakers say yes, they just follow. If a lot of people say no, they don't take it. So this is very, very dangerous in trading. And speaking of this, by default, majority of the people do not like to do analysis because it's too much work to do. You need to think a lot. So what do? Is that they ask expert opinion about the market outlook, or even subscribe to those investment reports. And in fact, when you use critical thinking and logical thinking to analyze those opinions and commentaries, right, you will realize that there are a lot of mistakes in logic and even a lot of faulty reasonings in it. So in short, critical thinking can help you in your research to be even better, have a greater depth. And critical thinking actually includes logical thinking and good reasoning skills. Okay, so you need critical thinking to improve further on your research and analysis, whichever analysis that you are doing, TA or FA. Most of the people learn technical skills, but they don't develop critical thinking skills. So whether you do research or analyze the market, you need logical thinking and good reasoning skills. Otherwise, your research skills will not be able to improve further without critical thinking. And without thinking skills, the depth and your quality of your research has its limitations, because it is just only at the surface level, but not at the deep level. Okay. Now, here I do put one of the number 3s on pattern recognition, right? Pattern recognition, of course, if you use technical analysis, you need to be able to recognize patterns from, charts, price patterns. There are also patterns in indicators, patterns in news, as well as fundamental analysis also got patterns in numbers as well. So, which is why you need to be able to develop your eyes to be able to detect all those patterns. And later on, I will be explaining to you troubleshooting in the problem solving section. So, how to improve your thinking skills? Number 1, you need to choose a more reliable source of information. The best is actually getting raw data, so that you will not be influenced by all those processed information, and then you can use and exercise your thinking skills to think, and then make a conclusion and your decision in whether to trade, enter, or exit the market. All right. Number 2, you need to practice logic and good reasoning skills. You need to think more often, more deeply, and analyze the reason to see whether it is logically correct or whether is it logically wrong or not. Whether the reasoning good, or there is problem, or there is faulty reasoning. So it also means that you need to learn and understand some theories. So for example, economic theories, because theories have been tested and gone through a lot of experiment to be valid. So theories are actually very, very important. And lastly, you need to develop your eyes to be able to recognize patterns. So eye training is considered as one of the thinking skills. Now, number 3, emotional intelligence. Soft skill number 3. Now, imagine this scenario. Let's say your trading strategies are all correct. You have no problem with trading strategies. And all you need to do is follow exactly your trading strategies to enter the market. Now, because the price keeps moving up and down or fluctuating, right, it can create stress when you look at it. So if you're unable to manage the stress, you may take profit or cut loss out too early. Take profit too early, cut loss too early. So meaning, what does that mean? It means that you did not follow your trading plan accordingly. So there are also times when you have profit and your trading strategies saying that calling you to get out of a trade, but you want to push it even harder to hold that trade even longer because you're afraid that your profit can evaporate. And then, if you take out your profit, the market will trend even further. So all of those things has got to deal with emotions. So what skills that we need to develop in our emotional intelligence? So stress management is, of course, number one, the most importantly. In trading, we often face stress before trade, during trade, and after trade. So most of the people think that during trade only got stress, but no, stress can happen before trade, during trade, and after trade. Why? Because before trade, before you execute anything, you are afraid of things can go wrong. So emotions comes in. During trading, because you can see your profit and loss real life, right? So this is also causing you stress within you already. How about after trade? After trade also got stress. How come? Because you may, sometimes missing opportunities, or you may say yourself, I should even enter more so that I can capture more profit, or I should exit earlier. So which is why we can see before trade, during trade, and after trade, there are stress as well. So it is really, really important that for you to have the skills to manage your stress and not to let your stress influence your judgment for the current and subsequent trades or your decision making. Most people bring their stress, their trading stress, over to their full-time job, and then let their full-time job bring the stress from their full-time job over to trading as well. So it is very, very dangerous. You need to be able to manage your stress. Now, the next level of stress management is actually having mental and emotional fitness. So this is where you need to be emotionally strong to deal with uncertainties and to be able to perform under pressure. So it's like Olympics lah. So those professional athletes, they able to, those who are able to enter to the final game, right? Technically speaking, they are very, very skillful, right? And what differentiates whether they are going to bring home the medal or not is actually their skills in their emotional intelligence. Whether do they have a resilience, whether they able to maintain their peak performance, whether do they able to maintain composure in having a good performance or not. So this is on mental and emotional fitness. Resiliency is about your bounce back muscle, especially when you face losses and consecutive losses. So this is where you need to be able to cope up with your losses, get back up with your feet, and then continue to improve and execute your trading plan without having fear. Okay, without letting your negative emotions or your past negative experience to hold you back. So this is on resilience. Patience, I believe you understand already. While confidence is actually will come in naturally for you when you do everything or your technical skills correct, when you're able to have your past experience of making correct trades. So this confidence will definitely automatically come in for you. So how do we improve your emotional intelligence? Of course, firstly, you need to improve your resilient muscles, learn how to deal with losses first, as well as setbacks. So the biggest challenge in trading is actually dealing with losses. And making money, nobody see any problem, right? But making losses, people would start to questioning about where do I gone wrong. They will start to question about whether their trading strategies is got problem or not. So this is where you need to learn how to cope up with losses first. Number two, you need to be able to build mental and emotional fitness, be able to perform very, very well, even though they are stressed, especially when your account size keep growing, right? So the stress level is actually different from level 1. Level 10 is different from level 1, correct? So it's like walking on the road. Your stress level actually increase. So which is why not everybody able to continue to grow their account because they don't have the necessary emotional intelligence skills to support them at a higher level. So if you want to move your trading to the next level and so on, you definitely need to strengthen and develop the skills in emotional intelligence. Okay, now problem solving. Have you ever faced any problems in your trading or not? So if you face any problems before in your trading, you type in yes. If you never face problem in your trading, type in no as well. I just want to see whether you face any trading problems. If you don't have any trading problems, I would like to interview you, you know. So I see most of you have, yes, you have trading problems. I have trading problems as well. In stage one, every stages in trading, I do face problems as well. And the most important thing is when you face problem in trading, do you find solutions to solve it, or do you just let it go and just turn a blind eye, close your eye, and pretend that it never actually happened? Do you solve it, or do you pretend it never happened? Think about this for a moment. Now, this is where problem solving comes in very, very handy. It's very important. Now, problem solving requires critical thinking for you to be able to identify problems and find solutions. So you need emotional intelligence as well to deal with your problems, because when you face problems, it affects your emotions, right? So you also need emotional intelligence to deal with your emotions. And so now you can see the relationship between one soft skill with another soft skill, right? So I believe most of you want to solve your trading problems, but maybe you just couldn't find the right solutions towards it. So which is why there are times you may stuck at the problem for quite some time. Whereas for some of you, do not or pretend problems never happen and hope that in the future problems don't happen again. But it is almost impossible in trading because the same problem will repeatedly happening over again and again. So which is why problem solving is actually one of the important elements towards trading success. Once you're able to solve your problems in trading, you are actually able to leap or hurdle that level already. It becomes easier for you. So problem solving is like finding entry point, your discipline problem. When you're able to identify your problems and find solutions towards your problems, you also need decision to execute your solutions so that you are able to solve it, to see whether your solution works or does not work. Okay, so how do we improve our problem solving? Of course, firstly, there are problems in technical skills. So you need to find out what are those problems. If it is a problem from your entry or exit strategy, find solutions to solve it. If it is the problem from your money management or even risk management, find a solution to solve it. Or if you do not know how to diversify, go learn how to portfolio management, how to diversify your portfolio. And of course, there are also problems in soft skills, right? Because only these two areas. So let's say you may not have patient enough to wait for opportunity. Is that a problem? Of course it is. Impatient is a problem because you will, getting out or in or out of the trade very quickly, where you don't follow your trading plan. So this is where you need to develop a patient, find solutions to develop your patience as well. And problem solving skills can actually also develop in through your critical thinking. For example, when you analyze a company and always select the wrong company or wrong time to enter. So this has got a lot to do with your thinking skills, right? Because you think incorrectly, so which is why you analyze it incorrectly. So in short, you need to find solutions to solve your trading problems, both technical side as well as on the soft skill side. And lastly, on your work ethics. Of course, trading itself has its own trading work ethic, and you need to treat your trading as part of your work because you need to be able to work alone and have your own independent judgment, not to rely on a market outlook, not to rely on trading ideas or tips from friends or even social medias. So in short, you need to follow your own personal investing as well as your own trading plan. So these are the work ethics that you need to have. It's not an exhaustive list, but these are the major thing that you must have. Number one, pay attention to details. So for those of you who use technical analysis, you need to be able to train your eyes, pay attention to details, especially on prices, so that you are able to recognize patterns, pattern detection, price patterns according to your strategies. Whereas for those of you who use fundamental analysis, you need to be paying attention to numbers and figures so that you are able to recognize the patterns in numbers as well. For openness, you need to be willing to experiment and taking calculated risks. Remember problem solving. Once you identify your problem and find new solutions, you need to be open to implement and decide to use those new solutions. You need to be open for for your new solutions to see test it out, experiment it to see whether it works or not. Independence, majority of the time, trading is actually a one-man game because money is yours, correct? It is quite private and confidential, where you are unlikely to disclose your portfolio or your financial status to others, right? So this is where majority of the traders or investors are actually working alone. So you need to be able to make your independent judgment, your own judgment, and make your own decisions, because as you're working alone, so all of the soft skills that I have shared with you in this session in earlier definitely applies to you, from decision making, critical thinking, think logically and good reasoning, emotional intelligence, problem solving, find solutions to solve your problem, as well as this work ethics. Okay, self-monitoring and supervising, because you're working alone, correct? So you need to be able to watch yourself and track your own progress, be aware of your own trading process, and solve your own problems. Tolerance of change and uncertainty, because trading and investing is actually a game of uncertainty. It is not for everyone, because you got to be able to accept the nature of trading and investing of this game, dealing with risk and uncertainties. Because what is going to happen, the price is going to happen next tomorrow, we do not know. It is really, really uncertain. So you need to be able to tolerate with this, so that you can like trading, or at least you don't hate trading, correct? So that's it. Each of those skills, technical skills as well as soft skills, each of these skills are actually interrelated, especially soft skills. Soft skills and technical skills both are interrelated. For example, when you improve your decision making, you can improve your trade. You immediately know whether your trading strategy works or not. When you improve your critical thinking, you can greatly improve the way how you do your research, as well as your analysis. You can detect price even sharper, correct? When you improve your emotional intelligence, it helps you to deal with failure. It helps you to deal with stress, as well as anxiety. And it also gives you the necessary confidence, the necessary self-esteem, and the motivation to keep moving forward, even though when times are tough. So I believe nowadays trading is not easy, right, for Malaysian market. So emotional intelligence is really, really, really important. And if you want to be a trader and investor that can actually going an extra mile or going even further by growing a trading account, you definitely need all these set of skills, technical skills as well as soft skills. It's a full package. It's a full set of skills that you must have. And of course, not everybody is born the same. Everybody is uniquely different. So you can see that some area of these soft skills, you may be originally be good at it already. Some people, they are very, very good in decision making. Whereas for some of you, decision making may not be something for you yet, because there are a lot of times you make decisions a little bit slowly. It takes a lot of evidence or analysis before you are able to decide. So for those areas that you are weak or not strong in, you need to put in some effort to develop all these soft skills. Okay, so you can think by yourself which areas you're pretty good at and you can make improvements on, which areas that you are weak at, so that you can put in more effort to brush up all of these skills, so that you can take your trading to the next level. Okay, improving your soft skills can definitely significantly improve your technical skills even further, right? So let's conclude today's 5 takeaway points that you have learned today. Number 1, traders are born. No, traders are made, not born. Traders are 1/3 born and 2/3 made. Why? Because if it is born, we don't need any training anymore, correct? So which is why training is important. A constant education, continuous education is important for us to improve ourselves along the way. Number two, you need to redefine your trading success by using skills and competencies as your checkpoints. Remember, you know where you start, you know your ultimate goal, which is most likely monetary value, correct? And of course, money is actually a scorecard, you know. Money is, I repeat, money is actually just a scorecard. It's how much you score in this game of investing and trading. So along the way, you need to add on what are the checkpoints, which is what are the skills you must have, whether you are good in whichever skills or not. So these are your checkpoints to see where or which area you need to further develop, or which are your strengths as well as which are your weaknesses to grow and to develop. Focus on the process. The outcome will take care of itself. Number three, the 5 important technical skills, which I believe you already know even before this session. And the 5 important categories of soft skills to improve your technical skills even further. Decision making, critical thinking, problem solving, emotional intelligence, as well as your trading work ethic. So all of these are very, very important to develop your soft skills as well, because you can see that, you know, in Olympics, right, professional athletes don't just develop technical skills. They need soft skills to bring them through to become to enter Olympic itself. Okay, and lastly, you have also learned several ways to improve your soft skills as a trader and investor. So that's it for today. I hope you have learned some of the skills that you need to learn, as well as to see what are the skill gaps that you need to bridge those gaps and to improve yourselves further. And finally, in trading and investing, always focus on the process, and the result will take care of itself. Focus on developing your skills rather than focusing on profit, because, you know, if you focus on profit, very soon or very quickly you may become one of the dropouts very easily. So all you need to do is focus on the process, develop your technical skills, develop your soft skills. Okay, so that's it. I pass it back to Ting Ting.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much for CY for his great presentation. Now, we are going to open for Q&A. As usual, please type in the Q&A box, not chat box. At the bottom of your screen, you can see that there's a Q&A column. You just click on the Q&A, then click on all co-hosts. You're going to send to all co-hosts. If not, we are not able to pick up your question. So right now, you can start type in your question. Now, for those who are going to leave, if you don't have any question, please remember to submit your feedback form. That's the only things that we require from you, because Busan Malaysia is sponsoring the whole session. So we hope that at least you can give us some feedback, and you can click in the chat box. The link is available in the chat box. So right now we are going to start with the Q&A. If you have any question, you just need to type in the Q&A box. So we are going to pick up from the Q&A box itself. I'm not quite sure whether you know how to ask a question or not, because today is all towards skills, especially he's highlighting in terms of soft skill, some things that you can't see, but I'm not quite sure is there any question that is relevant or not. Now, while waiting for a question, you can continue to type in the Q&A box. Later, we are going to pick up the Q&A box, and we are going to answer all the questions. And hopefully, before the end of the session, we are able to answer all the questions. So this is the Q&A box at the bottom. You can click on it. For those who are going to provide a feedback, this is the link. What you need to do is you just scan all the QR code. You take out your mobile phone, scan on the QR code, and it's only required 1 minute. Very short. You can fill in your feedback form. So while waiting for your Q&A, maybe please provide us with your feedback while we are waiting for the Q&A to be sending in. Some of the questions are already in. Later we are going to answer, but in the meantime, can you please submit your feedback form? So I'm going to give you 1 minute. The link is in the chat box, or else you can scan this QR code. Right now, every one of us, we have QR code scanner, right? So just scan the QR code and it requires less than a minute for you to finish the whole feedback. We really need to hear from you, and that's the only things we require from you. Last 30 seconds. Well, very good. Some of you already stated that you're already done. Just help us to provide that. For upcoming webinars, the link is in the chat box as well. I saw someone is asking about the upcoming session. You can check it through the chat box, or else I believe we normally send you a thank you email. In the thank you email, also provided with the link. You can register accordingly via the link. Good. I believe many of you already submitted. Now let's start with the Q&A question, some of the Q&A. The rest, if you're not yet finished, you can continue to finish it and you can submit to us. And if you want the upcoming session, this is the QR code as well. You can scan and you can submit your registration for all the upcoming session. It doesn't matter online workshop or even in terms of webinars. Now we're going to start with the first question. Very, very interesting question. Now, CY, the question is how to minimize sudden big reversal which bypasses our stop loss, resulting in a big loss. So I repeat the question, how to minimize sudden big reversal which bypasses our stop loss, resulting in a big loss. I believe one of the reasons is because of the recent volatility in FCPO market. Sometimes within the day low and the day high is more than 300 points. That's the reason why I believe this is a very common question, maybe related to soft skill and also maybe related to hard skills as well. Maybe CY, can you please help to answer this?
Okay, first thing is how to minimize big reversal that bypass stop loss. Of course, this would generally be classified as technical skills, right? Because it deals with your entry point as well as your exit point. So this is where if your entry point is okay, that suggests this kind of trade, and when you experience this kind of big reversal and still haven't exit, right? So this is actually part and parcel of your trading strategies, because of course some people, their trading strategy is picking bottom as well as exit at the top, or enter at the top, exit at the very, very bottom. Whereas for some traders, their trading strategies is trading trend following strategies, or they trading following the trend. So this is where trend following strategies, it suggests that we are unable to pick the very top, as well as we are also unable to pick bottom. So given that unable to pick top and bottom, right? So those reversals, sharp reversals at the tip is unable to detect by trend following. And so this is where number one, which is why it is very, very important for us to understand our technical skills, what strategy that we are currently using, and what trading system that we are relying on. So which is why we need to understand the inside out of our trading strategies. What are the, when does it work well in those strategies? When does it work worse in those strategies? How much drawdowns, or what are the possible losses from those strategies? So this is where you can see that, by going deeply into understanding our technical skills, which is our trading strategies, you are able to understand the whole nature of your trading strategies, especially when you face this kind of big reversal. So number one, first thing to solve on big reversal is actually on technical skills. And number two is actually emotionally, how do we solve it? If you understand your technical skills very, very strong, your trading strategies very strongly, right? So if it is actually a nature for your trading strategies to face with this kind of big loss in trading, is actually a very a part and parcel of in trading. Of course, for some of you may have attended courses and you have already gotten a well set or predefined trading strategies and systems, right? What you need to do is actually focus on the emotional aspect on how to deal with losses, because not all strategies can work all the time, right? So there will be time for strategies to lose money, lose small money. There will be time some strategies lose the same strategy, lose very big money, and there will be time the same strategy will have consecutive small losses or big losses, and which ultimately it accumulates up into a very, very big losses, right? So which is why it is important for investors and traders to learn how to cope up with losses first. And you got to understand about your trading strategies deeply in order for you to go through this kind of big loss period.
Okay, the next question, I believe this question is very suitable for you. The question is, do we have any recommendation books for soft skill building? I believe you read a lot of soft skills books, right?
Soft skill building books, there are plenty of soft skill books, but there are almost very, very little soft skill books on related to trading. Very, very rare you can find. Even trading books on trading psychology, they hardly touch or hardly they are briefly they briefly explain about patience is important, dealing with losses important, but they didn't specifically highlight out how to deal with losses, how to deal with how to improve your patience. So there, to my best knowledge, there aren't any trading related soft skills building books out there yet, but you can actually learn because soft skills is usually general. It's actually a very general skills, so you can learn all those skills and then applying it over to trading. So for example, how I improve my soft skills in trading is that before I learned trading, both my background was finance, and at the same time I also learned neuro linguistic programming. So this is where I apply these soft skills over the soft skills of NLP over in trading, how to manage emotions, how to deal with losses, and some of the emotional intelligence skills I learned it from psychology or even counseling, those therapy techniques. So it is a cross training thing. So I believe nowadays in fitness, right? There are something. There's one term called cross training. So which is where it is not sufficient to focus on trading itself alone. It's not sufficient. You need to take some other areas to complement or to supplement what you lack of in the area of trading.
Oh, very interesting. We saw one in the chat box, right? He's highlighting that about this Alexander Elder's books called Trading for a Living. Do you want to highlight any things that maybe can help for the question previously mentioned?
For trading for a living generally, as I've mentioned, trading psychology books hardly mention about soft skills. They briefly mention importance of soft skills. Yes, there is, but they didn't highlight how to build specifically what soft skills that you need. So, which is why you need to go to other domains to borrow all those skills, to bring it over to trading and then applying it. So, psychology or counseling are those of the skills the areas that I borrow from in order to complement my trading.
You really need to trust CY because CY really read a lot of books. It doesn't matter related to trading or not, even in terms of soft skill, etc. So maybe some of the comments or some of the opinion given by him, you can take into consideration. Now, the next question, very, very general question. I'm not quite sure whether you can shorten in and answer this question or not. The question is asking about how to shorten my learning curve in trading.
Shorten learning curve. Of course, the fastest way is attend courses. Make sure that the speaker is able to guide you hand by hand And of course, first thing in trading, the fastest way is actually duplicate people's method in trading. But don't blindly duplicate. You need to understand the method inside out very, very thoroughly before you even duplicate, so that you know the inside out of the particular trading strategies. When does it work? When does it not work? When does it perform well? When does it perform very, very worse? And you need to be able to accept the weakness of that particular trading system, because in the market there is no 100% fail-proof trading system. So even though the best back-tested trading system, it has its own particular period of non-performance as well. So this is where number one, duplicate people's system, but don't blindly duplicate. Number two, follow exactly those systems. And number three, as you follow those systems strictly, right, definitely there will be period where you're facing losses. So this is where you don't have to take care of your strategies and system already, right? So this is where all you need to take care is actually take care on how to deal with losses, your emotional part. And then slowly throughout the time, you have time to slowly equip some other skills and knowledge in understanding the market better. So most of the traders, they drop out very quickly because they are unable to deal with losses. So which is why we can see that people keep uh, attending courses over courses over courses, yet they still unable to perform well in their trading, because why? They still unable to deal with losses yet, or decision making muscles, they are not well formed yet. So which is why it's important for you to be firm in those soft skills first, and then this is where both sides it can be complementary.
Okay, the next question, I believe maybe this is related to our side. You say, I still don't understand what are futures. I got do stocks trading before, but totally no idea what is futures. That's why if based on this question, right, you can just join the online workshop. So the online workshop will guide you from A to Z until you can trade your first trade. So maybe you can join that particular session. I believe you'll be able to understand what is exactly a futures. Now, the next question for you, CY, what is the difference between being talented and full of confidence? Now, repeat the question. What is the difference between being talented and full of confidence?
Okay, got few assumptions here lah. So let's say a person haven't got the skills yet, all right? No skills yet, no skills with talent and no skills with full of confidence. This is two different things. If no skills with talented, we will not unable to know where if a person is talented or not until he or she has the results already. Then only we are able to say he or she has a talent. Like Olympic, right? Being a before you become a professional athlete, it is hard to see whether a person has a talent or not until you go through a lot of training drills to see whether a person is talented. And not every talented person can go through the training at the end or survive the whole training, because it takes soft skills to have the persistency, the discipline, as well as the enthusiasm, the motivation to go through the journey, long journey. So which is why talent is actually not enough. You need to develop soft skills to survive the long journey. Whereas for full confidence, for some um, people, by nature or by personality, they really definitely full of confidence. So for these people, they usually have no problem with decision making. They can make decisions very fast, but the problem is they don't think through enough. So which is why one of the soft skill, critical thinking, is important to hold you back from your full of confidence or overconfidence, so that for you are able to think thoroughly from different perspective before you execute your trading as well as your investing decision.
Okay, the next question. She is a beginner in trading. Because I believe just now you're mentioning about the work ethic. So she's asking, if trading is one-man game, how do we develop our technical skills independently?
How do we develop independent skills independently? Okay, this is where you can go for formal education first. Formal education, like, if you are not from a business background person, you can, pick up some books to learn about economics, basic finance, financial principles, learn some accounting. Those are fundamental analysis. Pick up some books or attending courses to learn technical analysis and fundamental analysis. And of course, this is one of the challenge which personally I face, where of course there will be a stage where you can even be better than your teacher. So there's no teacher for you anymore. You need to be independent to go through those journey. Okay, so this is where of course reading is a habit that you got to definitely develop. You cannot hit books, so a lot of things are actually from written books, or where some of the solutions you can find it from books itself. So how do we develop technical skills is actually majority actually is through reading.
Okay, the last question, because of time limitation, we are going to have this question. I believe it will be a very short answer towards that. The question is, how does a beginner pick up FA and TA? I believe many of our webinars do cover these two topics, right? But any advice from you, CY?
Go for personally for me, go through formal education is the fastest way to learn all of these things. So which is why for FA, if you're interested, you can go attend any of the CFA Chartered Financial Analyst class. You can just attend without going for exam, is okay. So those are the fundamental analysis skills that knowledge you definitely need to have. It's quite comprehensive. It's well designed by professionals. For technical analysis, you can actually go through training from CMT, Chartered Market Technician, or another technical analysis qualification is the CFTE, Certified Financial Technical Analysis course. So this is where it actually covers a general view of all of the technical analysis body of knowledge. So those are on the formal education part, because it is very, very systematic curriculum. So those are the fastest way that I know. The other slower way is actually read books, because all those things are not systematic. So you need to read a lot and then reorganize your knowledge in order to make sense and make sense of the puzzle, all of it.
Okay, now we're going to do a final wrap up before we end the session. Remember, for those who not yet submit your feedback form, appreciate you to take 1 minute, only 1 minute of time. Please scan the QR code, or in the chat box, there's a link. Please click on the link to submit your feedback to us, because your feedback is very important to us and we are going to improve in our subsequent session. Now, just a final wrap up. Remember, every Tuesday, we are going to have a LLF webinar series. You can see that it will be available in 3 different languages, from English, Malay, and Mandarin. If you like any of the session, you can scan the QR code at the below of the slides. Just scan it and you can register or select the session that you would like to attend, and you can just register accordingly. So this is the LLF upcoming session. And once you scan, you can see that it's excellent.com/events. This is available for August. So if you are going to attend for next week's session, next Tuesday's session, you just need to click on that particular events and they will link you to the registration page and you just register accordingly. Now, if you're going to register for September month, what you need to do is at the top right-hand side, a very small button, you can see that there's available for next month or the previous month. You can just click on the next month and you can see the available class for next month, the subsequent month itself. Just click on September, they will drag you into September month. So for those who want to register for September session, you can click on September month and select the session that you would like to register. Now, the last part, for those just now asking about if I'm a beginner, totally have no idea about what is futures, this webinar session is this online workshop session is definitely for you. So it will be available in Malay, Mandarin, and English. Please select the session that you would like to attend and register accordingly. Slightly different for this online workshop is we are going to make it within a day. So we are going to divide into morning session and afternoon session. So we are going to guide you through step by step from A to Z until you understand and until you are able to submit your first order. So the first session will be from 9:30 until 12:30, and afternoon session will be from 2 to 5. So grab the seat as soon as possible because every class will be full exactly even 1 month or 2 months before the actual session. So if you are serious to learn, you can scan the QR code. If you are not serious, please don't register. Every class is only limited to first 50 online attendees, but every class will open for 150 to register because some of them last minute they couldn't make it. That's the reason why we open for more to register. The upcoming session, you just need to click on it, then you can register the online workshop. The same link, you just need to scan once, you can register for webinars and also online workshop. Now, the last part, this is Busa Academy. Busa Academy is a comprehensive one-stop e-learning platform. You can scan this QR code or type busaacademy.busamarketplace.com and you are able to access to all the education materials. So you can scan accordingly. So this comes to the end of our session. Thank you very much for your participation, and we are going to see you in our next webinar. Take care and see you soon. Good night.
Bye.